All right, so like I said, we'll get started now. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming on in right now. A lot of you have been following what we've been doing for, some of you up to 3 years, and we are very grateful for that. And today I want to do the first formal presentation of AvocaData. So what we have done is putting all this together into one single program. I'm not going to go through all this because I was actually building this right before this meeting, but to explain in short, a lot of us all have been aware of Zoom Info, Apollo, Rocket Reach, Seamless AI, and that was the primary place where people went and got their business leads. A lot of people also factored in Property Stream for script tracing and a few others. One of the newer ones that have come out that's actually pretty good is Clay. It just happens to be very expensive. Another thing that has been becoming very popular recently is the intent lead. So some companies that would do intent leads, again, would be Clay and Bombora, and so on and so forth. What I want to do is I want to get into the program that we have built and fully released. So most of you have been aware of this side of the screen, but I want to go over, just do a little bit of an overview of everything for people who are not aware of what it is that we've been doing prior to this. So on our dashboard, we traditionally had access to these various databases that I have been building myself over the last 3 years. People, just homeowners as well, and businesses. And over the years, I sourced and connected many data sources together in order to create a fully enriched, accurate, and verified information about an individual so you can contact them, email, phone number. We stayed in our lane. That's what we did great. And over the years, we have been actually building the ability for anybody to list and sell a database. So this presentation is going to be a combination of two things. A, your ability to purchase a specific database from us, because we have now combined the two together where anything you purchase comes with a white label that you could put together on this side of the equation. So we're going to start from the very beginning where we are looking to find an intent data. And if this was the case, you can start with the $0 account, which is free. You get 2 credits a day and you can search through any of the databases to test out. And once you do that, you'll be presented again with these two various. I want to focus more today on the custom databases. So within here, AvocaData users and white labels now have the ability to quickly create a new database where they have the capability of uploading various bits of data to the marketplace for others to either A, white label, or B, download and use for themselves. So as you see right here, some of the more popular ones that we got online first have been people looking for a motor vehicle accident attorney, people Googling selling their home, people using specific words looking for a marketing agency, and buyer leads, home improvement, so on and so forth. Now, these are uploaded as a snapshot in time. You guys have the ability to request it to be updated. It takes about 12 hours to update the entire database. But then your users will have the ability, as well as yourself, to download the newest information of what people Google searched in the last few days. So right now, I'm going to go through motor vehicle accident, and all of these are various fields you can filter by. Now, there's two sides of this equation that I'm going to overly emphasize because that is the best way to explain what it is that we're doing. So I'm going to start on the perspective of you just came in and you say, I would like a database of people who are maybe a personal injury. We'll call it personal injury. But before I do that, I'm going to go off and just clone a prior one. So every database that you make, you can make a clone of. So the most recent one I made, I believe, was the marketing agency. So I'm going to go off, clone this whole thing, and I'm going to go through these step by step once we go off and create this table. So now I have just created the table, and I'm going to go create the name of the database to be personal injury. That's another big one that people ask for. Price per lead, right now, unless you are uploading your own data, which you can have the ability to on a separate plan, the price per lead, we leave it a penny, but anyone can upload their own data and charge what they want for it. When you're building the database, you have the full ability to go off and customize not just the name, but you can control how they can search the actual field. So if you know what SnowFlake is, it's similar to that, you guys don't have to do this. This is what we have paid services we can do. But if you wanted to learn how to do it, you do have the capability of doing it without us. So when you upload your data, you can control if the user can filter it. And you can also, by filter, what I mean is, can the user, do they have this field available? For instance, you probably don't want first name, last name, direct phone number, mobile phone number available. So not in this example, but in the further one that we're doing right now, I'm going to go off, just flip it off to no. Is it nullable? When you create a list, you have the awesome ability to now segment what in that list you would like to download. So I saved earlier today 1,000 rows of data from people who were in the database showing intent of selling a home. Now, if I wanted to download this data, I have the ability to control what fields from that database are exported. Over the years, I found this to be this is probably the single most important feature you can use, because you might have clients that go off and say, you gave me the wrong data, but really you just gave them a really detailed product that was not filtered. And then this, either way, with this ability, you yourself have the ability to simplify that process. So some users might come to you not because they want a phone number or an email list. It's possible they come because they only want the Shade 256. So if you were doing a Facebook audience, you would have the ability to just select a few fields. So I'll do personal, not business. And then we go back to the top. We can find the first name, last name. Let's go through that. So I think it's just first name, last name you need, right? So we'll just put all different emails in. There it is, personal email one, personal phone. So now, as of right now, this button sends an email. Over the next couple of weeks, we will integrate two things. A, webhook, you can put in what you want, but pushing directly to Facebook and Google Ads, and as well as Google Sheets is the next three, plus the webhook, which would be four places, updates we're planning on doing in the very short future. So just like that, we can now get the list that's entirely segmented. So let me go off and open this spreadsheet, and I'll go off and share that so you can see. My phone got it. My computer didn't yet. There it is. It comes pretty quickly. I'm going to go off, change the screen, and we'll open up this new spreadsheet. And as you see, we controlled just these columns came out. So one thing I forgot to add was first name, last name. That's obviously something you can add in the future if you were to do this. But now this could be all pushed into a Facebook audience. So you were able to chop up any of these spreadsheets in any way that you need to for your end client to end up satisfied. You have this classic dashboard. I'm not going to go through that right now because I have quite a few videos on this. I'll drop a link afterwards. Let's go navigate to the white label. All of this is what you can be selling with the data monetization. So when we do our sales presentation, and what we have found to be one of the best drivers of closing is highlighting the fact that for your user, you can sell them the same exact services. And you can show them that this is what you're actually doing for them by having us do it, and through the cloning and the teaching. It's really not complicated. But the bottom line is, you're selling essentially a database service, not just database service, but you are the expert. We provided these tools where now you're not just selling leads, you are performing a highly technical service that if you were to actually employ somebody, it probably costs at least $5,000 or $6,000 a month if you hire someone in America who's an American who knows what they're doing. So this is an insane value proposition that you can present to your client, that you can build these custom database solutions just for them. And in other instances, you do not need to use your data. If you don't have the data, you have the entire capability of going to the tab right now, old databases. These databases I built, that's why they're not under old databases, but you guys would see all those databases under here. You'll see purchase data, you'll see a little email button, and you'll see a chat button. Right now it's connected to Plaid, which doesn't do us any good right now unless you have a Plaid account. What we have found to work really well right now is you can simply reach out to the vendor. I want auto lead. How much is 5,000? And now this vendor actually got a chat and a notification that we just reached out to them and we're looking for some help. So when he responds, it'll be up here. It's almost like I don't look at it as a messaging system or a chat system. It's more like a ticketing system, because some people won't respond instantly. The bottom line is you have all of this flexibility to create truly a myriad of opportunity and products to that opportunity for your client that you're selling to. The last piece I want to show, and then I will let you guys ask some questions, is when you go off and begin to add databases or upload databases, when you make your custom plans, you can control what databases get attached to that plan. So if someone wants to pay you just for the roofing database that you already have, you can resell it as many times as you want, and not just the database as many times as you want. You can resell the amount of contacts that they get monthly to subscribe versus the credits coming in daily or monthly. Right here, you guys get unlimited data. And what that means is if you're buying this package from us, any of these, all of it's unlimited. Unlimited has a definition though, and that means the list size is. So what that means is you can download unlimited lists to get unlimited leads, but each list is capped at 5,000. Now on the $4.99 plan, you get one data storefront, which is obviously one white label, and 25 data products. What the data products are is your ability to actually filter out and control how you can resell the databases and segments. So instead of selling a database of 8 million solar leads, you very well might have clients that are not capable of filtering, and that is very common and more common than you would expect. So one thing that you have the flexibility of doing is creating a custom list for them. Hey, I can't find my leads in this postal code. It happens. You can go off, create it, save it, and name it, and go off, and now your user can find that list that you did for them. And you further have the functionality to control what it is that they can and cannot filter from your filter. So in this section here, right now you'll notice we don't have the custom databases in. It's going to take about a week and we'll have that there. But I have chosen to remove the city, the age range, and the country because it's all USA. If it's not required, you're going to get additional questions. And you also have the ability to frame their strategy entirely how you want by doing this. So under B2B, for instance, I do not give them the flexibility to adjust the NAICS code for one simple reason. I used all of our custom lists intentionally on their businesses. This is the categorization I did it under, to do it by NAICS code. So when someone comes off to you and says, I need we have laundromats? No. Well, we have plastic producers. There's one specific code for this. And instead of having to tell them you can go to the government website of the classified code, or just go to ChatGPT and ask what you want, it works. But it's additional steps for you, and every bit of time you're spending on those steps is money you can be making, and not just money you can be making, savings you can be giving to your clients by more adequately spending your time. So what we do with the business leads, as you see, we do give them the ability to, I don't know why I did that, filter down the email or the cell phone. So even though they can't control the NAICS code, they can control the owner age, number of employees, zip, and state. And the reason I do not have city in here is because given the way databases work, you would need to type in the city identically. Some cities may be abbreviated, like Santa Ana Barber Avenue or something. Or I've seen something like that. I actually saw it the other day, or Sam Verdes or something. They abbreviated it. So if you were to type it in a certain way, it wouldn't be found. By postal code, you can never go wrong. And you can make a list of them. So you can make a list of postal codes to find, there's no one in these, I think these were NAICS codes. That's why it wasn't a postal code. But you can give them the flexibility to do that as well. And if they have trouble doing that, you then have the further flexibility of either adjusting a custom list so you don't use another one, because you can change it as many times as you want, or you can go up and just create a new one for them. And maybe we'll just use this code and we'll say, okay, anybody that's in West Palm Beach, Florida, and this is your way of doing it. So now you could just there's no people in West Palm Beach, Florida, into that zip code in business. Well, it's a limited space. But you guys get the idea that you have all this ability to create these unique product offerings just for your clients of all skill sets and give them the full custom data as a service solution. In summary, what we're doing is we are providing you an infrastructure as a service solution that allows you to do two things: run a data as a service company and a software as a service front end. It's 3 stacks in one. And that's why I started off with this and probably should have waited, but I'll go back and divert back to this. So we're a combination of all of these options. Basically, we originally started business leads and data enrichment. That's what we did for 3 years as we were building this data marketplace and data as a service. Now, what it is that we have fully released is the ability for any vendor to upload data and have all of these services. So traditionally, if you wanted to start a data as a service company where you're hosting and selling data, actually just hosting and downloading data, the marketplace is what turns it into a commerce monetization network. But you would need to understand cloud computing. You would maybe need to pay SnowFlake or Mongo a 5x upcharge on cloud computing costs because they simplified the UI just like we did in the beginning of this video. Now, the intent leads is something that we have a lot of vendors for. It seems that there are a lot of providers, and we have found the best way to monetize them. And by doing so, they have the ability to upload up to 50 million records a day of what it is that you guys are purchasing or reselling, downloading, using, or asking. So all of this is very expensive. Obviously, I haven't finished the table, but just factoring if you're going to build your own cloud system, marketplace subscription to resell on, a lot of these intent leads, I mean, a lot of the companies, I charge quite a bit monthly. And then obviously we all know what business lead companies there are and, property stream. So in total, just from that little bit of math, it's about $4,000 a month. So what we are going to do for people in this room for a limited time is we can offer our package right here for 2 databases. Normally, it's $800 monthly, so $9,600 for the year. We will do this today for $5,000, where you can get an annual subscription of unlimited downloads. And every month, you can ask us to change the database. The databases you start with are not the databases you need to use the following month. You have permission to change those. The databases are also updated, I should say, 4 times monthly, weekly, once a week. And from that, you are able to pay for additional updates. We're still planning out the best way of doing it, and because some people don't want it to be uploaded all the time, they don't need it. So as you guys possibly need it, just let us know and we can customize something just for you. And all of the white label software is all included. And this also includes us doing your setup. So for $5,000, 1-year subscription, and we will also add in the $2,500 setup that we will do for you. So if anyone's interested in that, just leave your email in the comments, and I'll pause for a little bit and take some time to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Hi, this is Perry.
Hey, Perry, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Forgive me for my ignorance, but so I found you through a YouTube video. I do a lot of I've a number of large email databases that we market to, and I'm very interested in intent data for our own use, but I also have a mastermind group of almost 1,000 other marketers that I could potentially market data to. So just to clarify, so basically you're a platform that allows me to buy data from third-party data sources and sort it, sift it, and resell it through your platform. Is that a fair statement?
Correct, where you can connect with people to do exactly that.
But I'm going to need to buy. I'm not going to need to buy individual subscriptions from all these other data providers. Is that the way that works?
No. So right now the data providers are limited because we have a different billing arrangement with them. They pay us for cloud hosting, right? So we have a calculable way where they can sell what they need to, and we're rebilling them on the cloud front, and the money's being converted the right way. Additionally, the vendors have the ability to offer a net arrangement where you can sell the data without buying it, and then there's an agreement that's set where you can pay them 7 days, 14 days, 30 days later if they have Plaid integrated. So there is an integration for Plaid to allow other vendors to do that. So in theory, in our instance, we created the functionality where people can resell the data that's online in advance, if it's from the business leads or the homeowner leads and stuff like that. And then they get the payments, and they just pay us 30% of it through Plaid. And the system's set up like a fintech. My background's financial accounting. So it's really set up for tracking and auditing and making sure that your royalties of what's being bought and sold are getting paid. And that's where my chief strategy officer, Keem Draper, comes in, who's the one letting you guys in while he's writing something up. But his whole background is copyright, music, royalties, and everything. So our whole intent is making sure that people have the ability to maximize their data in every way possible financially without being stuck to one model and one fixed way of doing it.
Okay, that generally makes sense. I just trying to get it clear in my head how to best present this. And okay, but each of the data providers, I take it, if I'm buying data, the platform to resell to others, their individual negotiations of fees and prices and things. Is that not correct?
So yes, however, there's some really big ones, right? There's probably like 5 vendors that make up the majority. And right now we're doing the marketplace invite only, so you can upload stuff because we need exactly what you're saying. We're still learning a bit. So we're making it very limited in terms of who can get involved. So there's like 1,000 products, but only 5 of the large providers. And for now, we're letting the people who want to upload their data sell to their ecosystem for now. But the thing that's more important, their cost driver, is the infrastructure. So they can make an arrangement with you and say, listen, Perry, you can, for $20,000 a month, get access to 1,010 databases updated every day, unlimited. He or she now needs to plan. So it's really like a platform that you can develop on top of at the end of the day at the highest level. But like Akeem was saying, you can, right now, we are all the intent databases to simplify it because the intent data providers have to play by our rules because we have a big distribution outlet. We have over 5,000 monthly users that come back plus new users. So to answer your question in full, Perry, you can make a deal with us and then we can control how that gets distributed through them. So we would be the one person you would work with and we would make the arrangements on the backside with them because they pay us hosting, and what we intend on doing is giving them credit to lower their hosting costs for the data packages we give out to you and others.
Well, I'm happy to chat about it. If somebody wants to, you guys have my number, I guess, because you texted me this link for the thing. So feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to explore it a little further, fully understand the opportunity. So
definitely, I'll give you a call from my cell phone. It's going to come up as a phone repair company, so you won't forget it. Okay. Anyone have any other questions, interesting comments, or use cases you can think of? Yes, we do, Gina. How are you?
All right, sweetie, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing pretty good. It snowed last night. My wife was happy.
Yeah, I'm just briefly getting a little phase here. I can't really stand it. I'm gonna get somewhere warm, so hopefully that'll happen for me. But I do have a question now. With these, what's the percentage of them being deliverable? Are they all verified?
So that's where all this comes into play. I would never sell it as verified, personally, because I would rather set the lowest expectation. You guys have unlimited, right? So you have the ability to be abundantly honest. And the way I present it is these people Googled a motor vehicle accident attorney. They may have been a marketing agency Googling it. They may have been a mother of a son Googling it who got in a car accident. They may have been a competing attorney Googling it. It could be anything. And there is no way to break that down. However, in terms of verified, there are multiple degrees of phone numbers that you get. And think of the first row of data as the beginning of time. All the data started here. And as time went on, bits and pieces of data connected with other databases to continuously build out all of this information. Now, there are multiple phone numbers. I personally do not use anything on the left side because that data could be 10 years old. And everything on the right side is newer because it all builds and collects and builds a bigger, more detailed story. So if we go all the way to the end, you'll see there's this, even more. So see that we skip trace this to LinkedIn now. So obviously not everyone has a LinkedIn, so there's NAs, but we can see it was updated, the title at August 24th. So furthermore, we now have this additional skip trace info. Now, you have the ability very soon, they have to fix the one thing for this, to remove any of the phone numbers that have NA. So obviously these all have NA. And if you recall on the original version of the software, you had the flexibility to remove cell phones if you don't have a cell phone, get rid of it. If you don't have an email, get rid of it, meaning you have to have an email and cell phone everywhere. So we're adding this to all of those features over the next week or so. Have to make some sales, but yeah, that's very important because people will come to you. One of the great ways to sell this product is if people do Facebook marketing, agencies. And I can attest that when I started doing this, I actually started generating a lot more leads that put their credit card in for like the $0 plan, like you guys know that most of you did. But the point is, you guys are here, and that's the best way for me to indicate who I should invite. So basically generating leads for $1. Now, what you guys have the capability of doing is you guys can upload this ID. Let me find it real quick. There's so much stuff. It's called Shade 256. I spelled that wrong. And with this information, you have the ability to target this person directly in Facebook ads or Google ads. Personally, I use Google ads. I don't really like Facebook for various reasons, but on Google, I can attest that this works extraordinarily well. I made an audience about a month ago, and this audience was of only 10,000 people who were Googling data services. And quite frankly, this found some very high-end, paying, like high-ticket people. And an example is them. There's higher intent people, I'll say. So your audiences cost quite a bit more when you market. However, I learned through a total accident of my own that there's a strategy to really maximize this data that you can teach people and educate people and basically use it as a way to close a deal on them buying the data from you. So I have these few campaigns I want to point out. We have this one, and I flip this to enabled. So there's 3 campaigns that I have sharing off each other, basically making lookalikes off the results of one another. And we go over here. Here are the 4 that I'm working off each other. Now, all of these, if I was to take one of these out of the equation, the others would stop doing as well. So this audience right here was a mistake at first. And I used that 10,000 list audience as a lookalike in India. Now, I let it rock and I just lowered it to $1. And what I learned was because of how inexpensive it is, 1 penny per click and 26 cents per 41 cents per 1,000 who watched our video. A lot of sample data. And that's what I've realized is when you test the audiences on, I mean, India is a high tech in terms of IT sector. People are always looking for these types of services. So over the month, 63 people in India put a credit card in. Now, right here is the American audience. And I am going to shrink some of the time because that was the one I accidentally advertised to India in when I discovered this right here. So we can see that when we're advertising just to America, we're paying about $8 per 1,000 people to view the video. Now, that's a lot. So the third and final thing I did was I took this campaign and I told it to go for the same type of conversions. And the conversions it was after were subscribe. And all this means was a credit card was entered. Now, I told this campaign to find people that subscribed in the Indian campaign. But the exception was I told the newest campaign to only target Americans. So this was the predominant amount of my budget. These audiences here, the ones that are not the training audiences. I spent $18 in India, 73 targeting the same exact methodology in America. And then training off of the India one, we spent $245. Now, it cost 93 cents per person who put their credit card in. It cost $62 per 1,000 views. But because of all the people who subscribed for 29 cents per 1,000 views, this ad learned how to find those people, but in America, and it's costing 93 cents. So this is a very strong thing you can use as an upsell to any of the people you're presenting to. And one other thing I want to point out, Google sessions, basically, this is how many pages, how many clicks they did. So we can see between these two, India was higher. But finally, when we used our newest audience to target or to make a lookalike off the Indian version, we now get on average 16 pages being viewed per click of them visiting the website. So all in all, there is no right way or wrong way. The entire purpose of this is for you to provide your clients and even provide yourself a variety of options, because one thing I've noticed selling data and leads as a service was that every client is different. It's almost like going to Cheesecake Factory and the menu is absolutely enormous. And then you can customize what's in each entree. That is the mindset you need to have with your users. However, there's an issue with that traditionally. You need to make a one size fits all, a McDonald's Happy Meal burger, in order to repeat and resell and grow. With the ability for you to build these infinite amounts of custom lists to really detail and help make a unique experience for each user, you now have that ability and still only charge the same price. Because again, in summary, your users have this dashboard. You can build custom lists for each database. And then you can additionally make it so your clients who have some difficulty finding what they're looking for, you have the ability to send them off to the dashboard too, which is of all the things that you have customized. And my computer is freezing. There we go. So if your clients have any issues, you can then just stick them right in here using a pre-built list. And then now you really have a one-stop solution for any type of client, any type of experience, and you give them the total flexibility to get what they need. So are there any questions at this point that I can answer? Okay.
No,
So again,
I just wanted to know more info. You said leave your email down and you'll email us some information.
yeah, leave your email below. Actually, don't do that. You know the number you got a text message on?
Yeah.
Just respond to that. Just press like 1 or just press the number 1 so that way I can find it. And then after this, I'll set something up with you. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
No problem, Rob. Thank you for coming. And I know, John, you had some questions. We'll meet tomorrow. Basically, I'm going to use Wednesdays and Thursdays to do like any one-on-one stuff to help you guys. And I'm going to be doing this time span on every Tuesday, Thursday of doing exactly what we just did now. There might be a new offer, but quite frankly, we're going to be putting new databases on every day. And these are people who paid for them. So all of them have use cases. And because of those use cases, those stem into additional sales pitches you have the ability to do, because they already beat you to the idea, being they have already, basically, you need to buy that data from them at that point because they have the database online. So a lot of factors to contribute. And for anyone that joined a little late, the offer that we're going to do is we have these various packages, and you saw before those custom databases. So this package that's normally $800 a month, we're doing 50% off if you buy for a year. So the package, instead of it being nearly $9,600 for the year today, is going to be $5,000, and you have the $5,000. So you have the ability every month to change the databases. You're not stuck with them. And you, with these packages, have the ability to have 2 data storefronts, meaning you can have one domain just for one database and one domain just for the other database. And I'll give you one more. You can have a third domain to mix the 2 together. So you have all that flexibility, and all those features are included in each of these packages. But again, basically, if this one's a year for $6,000, this package right here is currently cheaper than the cheapest package for a year for today. Are there any questions that we can answer?
Is the discount only if you pay in full for the year?
Right now, yes. But I mean, you can speak to us on the side, and we can probably work something out, because you've been around for quite a bit, and we got you set up originally.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, Brian, for someone just starting out and not having the resources to invest that much into it, what is the best way to really get started and to, like what I just put in the chat, I want to find medical clinics, or really the person, let's say the office manager, for example, in medical clinics. What would be the best way for me to do that with a list, or what list?
So what is it that you're selling?
cybersecurity services?
Now that's a good one. So I'll stick with the smallest package, right? So for $4.99, you are able to give us a list of various keywords that people might Google who look for exactly what it is you do. So we can get up to 500,000 records depending on how many there were. But let's say you give us enough keywords and there's 600,000, we'll only get 500,000. Now, what you do, I wouldn't limit yourself to just medical, unless that's the only thing you're allowed to do, because the database we're building for you for that $4.99 would allow you to then further look down the business industries that people work in. So you can now identify, oh, okay, the CEO Googled of a hospital chain, I need best companies for cybersecurity. You can use that as a keyword. We can download it and create this database for you, just like it's a little bit earlier, just in case you didn't see it, I can show you later. But it's all done for you. And it's only you that has access to the database because it's a snapshot in time. So it's the last 9 days. And more often than not, we don't get asked for the same thing twice in the same time period. Not big enough for that yet. But that's the way that you should view it, is it's basically just your data. It's not a lead by any sense of the word. It's someone who Googled this. And then that is your thinking process that you need to get into of how you can further break it down of someone who might be more, qualified in your eyes.
I
So you
see.
can provide
Okay.
net worth, social media connections, but bear in mind, if we filter this and there's an NA, you're going to remove everything that doesn't have a social media connection. If we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 20% have them. So you're going to be basically sub-filtering 20% of the data. But people want to do that, and there is obviously use cases for that.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to learn more about it, and I still have to watch your tutorials. And I know Chris had mentioned there was another program as well that I might be interested in. So
Yeah, the white label thing you can set up without on the $0 thing. So you're able to get into this for the $0. You just can't sell anything, but you can set up your entire store and everything like that without actually making a payment yet. So you're not paying for the time while you're setting it up, basically. You're just setting it up.
right. Yeah.
And then you have access to the marketplace in here, which is when you can make a payment finally to buy what it is that you want to connect to. Here are the different vendors, stuff like that.
So like right now, I would not know which one of these databases would be the best one for me to connect to. Let's say I'm looking for people that are trying to buy cybersecurity insurance.
That is one we would build. So that's what that $4.99 for. We will actually build this for you. So we have a provider. Obviously, there's a few of them, but I've been building them for them, so it's popping up under my business name. But basically, these people Googled, I need a roof replacement. These people Googled final expense. So with what you're saying, we can build the same one for you, and then you would have the ability to filter all that.
Yeah, that's the power of the intent data stuff, right? Like literally you need something very unique and specific like that. And it kind of turns the entire paradigm on its head, because now all of a sudden, all of your data and all of your audience and all of your marketing is going to people who within the last few days have actively searched for exactly what it is you sell. And so it just shortens the timeline from this sort of from even the marketing and advertising stuff to the actual transaction. Intent data is pretty powerful. It's pretty awesome.
Sure.
Oh, I just realized I was muted the whole time. I'm so sorry. Well, if you're still here, so we real quickly for that database, for that $4.99, we can actually create it real quickly, where we just name it just like that. And then our data provider partner will be able to upload all these fields, and you'll be able to tell us what you don't want and what you do want. And you're really customizing it exactly how it is you need for yourself and for your end user to maximize. But again, in theory, you don't have to spend the $4.99. You can't show them any data, obviously, or you can't see any data, obviously you don't pay it, but we can still put the table together, and then when you're ready, then it's just takes an upload, takes about 24 hours to construct it with the back end, and it's as good as it can go.
And then you would have it for whoever else might want it in the future as well.
Not actually, no, not in this instance, because it gets updated every day. So theoretically, you're buying a snapshot in time. You're buying the last 9 days of people Googling it. So let's say someone comes to us 9 days later or 30 days later, they actually wouldn't get what you got. They would get something different. It was basically up there for a temporary period of time. Like it's fluid, goes in and out because basically there's a cost to keep data online, but the real cost isn't in hosting, it's in filtering. So if you have to filter through 1,000,000 rows versus 60,000, you're spending more money to go through that older information that might produce less value. And then obviously then that gets into the, not for you to worry about, for the data provider to worry about the cost benefit of keeping it online or offline. My phone crap died, but yeah, if there's, again, if there's anyone that wants to the promo, just leave a message below or shoot us a text on the number that you originally got our invite from, and we'll get in contact and get you a good offer to get you on. And we'll start it.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Oh, my volume was off. I'm sorry. I hear you now.
I just said thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. So if there's nothing else, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna edit this and I'll send it out to you guys so you can see it. And we will be in touch soon.
All right. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you much.